Where's the share info? For some reason, it doesn't fit on the screen very good though.
Weird.
All right, guys. So here we are. We are now live in the Live Weather Center. I think this is the first time that we've actually pushed anything out here. John, were you able to get that text out for everybody? Okay, cool. All right. So we're gonna go through here. We're gonna have our live chat up. If you'll have that up, so you can answer questions. Cool. All right. So feel free to ask any questions. It's going to be a big severe weather day. Okay. We're about to push out some forecast information. I'm actually going to show it to you here first. So you guys are going to get to be able to see our forecast and what we think is going to happen first. So it's going to be, again, like I said, a big day. So we're going to start today right now with some models. Let's take a look at what's going on with the different computer models that we like to look at. And so this is a view of the Midwest. Okay, and this is, let's see here what time frame we're at. Let's actually go ahead and back this up. Okay, so here we are. This is about right now. Okay, so this is where we're at right now, and this is about what we're seeing right now, so not a lot of activity. There has been some storms up in Wisconsin this morning, and I don't have this screenshot zoomed in on that area, but let's watch as the thunderstorms begin to go up, okay? So here they go, and then boom, looky here. So we see some storms going up in parts of Kansas, even back here in southwest Missouri. More storms developing here in Illinois and Iowa. And just watch as they continue to expand and get stronger. Now here's what makes today such a crazy day, or potential crazy day. Okay, notice all the individual storms. We've got a storm right here moving into the south side of Chicago. We've got individual storms here. We've got individual storms moving through St. Louis. We've got individual storms down here by Little Rock. But watch, that's not it just keeps going. This keeps on happening. More individual storms moving in towards St. Louis. Again, we still have this individual storm here in Arkansas. Look at all the isolated cells here across parts of Illinois, and they just keep expanding. Isolated storms all across Illinois, across Missouri. More isolated storms developing back here in southeast Oklahoma. We've got a line of storms. These won't be the hail producers, but again, a line of storms that's going to develop across Missouri. And it just keeps expanding. Look at this. More expansion here, okay? So we've got, again, these are hail-producing thunderstorms now in southeast Oklahoma and parts of western Arkansas. These are hail-producing thunderstorms all across Indiana. Depending on what the coverage looks like, that's going to tell us how widespread that coverage might be. But these are the areas that we're going to be watching for. Okay, so look, they just keep expanding. Now look at this. More storms develop back here. More isolated storms even back here in Missouri. Like they just keep redeveloping over and over and over again, okay? And all of these are going to be hail producing thunderstorms with the capability, honestly, of producing hail up to the size of baseballs today. So this is the real deal. And look, so I mean, we still have them going on. Okay, now this is like 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. And it's still going on in Arkansas. The tail end Charlies on this line will be producing hail. I wouldn't expect a whole lot on this stuff in Ohio, but I mean, this isn't your typical outbreak, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that stuff. But wouldn't put any money on that for sure. But check out all the different storms that we have. I mean, just waves and waves and waves of severe thunderstorms with hail, tornadoes. I mean, they're all going to be capable of that. And yeah, it's gonna be a busy, probably almost 24-hour period the way that it looks. If we look at some of the longer term models as well, they show this activity continuing to expand and then move across the southeast as we get into Wednesday. So it's not over with after today the way it looks right now. So as we should still continue to have more and more activity as we go through that time period. So yeah, so it's crazy day. Let's see here. I'm going to try to go ahead and load up the forecast here. John, what's the forecast called?
Hang on. It's not saved.
Give me a second here. We're going to get it saved so we can get it uploaded on here, so that way we can then share the forecast for today with you guys. All right. Forecast recap. Perfect. Where's it saved at?
Hail forecast. Okay. Weather files.
Look at all these guys. All right, I think we got it right here. Nope, this is not the right one. I'll find it here again. This is what happens when you make the forecast 2 minutes before you go live. So we're trying to take in a lot of the latest data, right? Data is coming in pretty quick right now. So we've got, obviously we do a lot of different forecasts. And so those are some of the earlier ones that we did there. Let's see here. Weather files. Hail forecast today. There we go.
No, that's not it.
Oh, nope, that's not it either. That was the first one that we looked at, and we've definitely upgraded this risk as well. So we're actually forecasting a bigger outbreak than what we have here. How about that? Impressive, right? Okay, so let's close this guy out. We don't want that one. All right, so guys, make sure post your questions in this chat. We're going to be going live as we go through the afternoon. So as more severe thunderstorms develop in the afternoon, we're actually going to go live for those severe thunderstorms. So you're going to get live alerts as these storms happen. You'll be able to jump in here. You'll be able to see the storms that we're mapping. We'll actually go over, like, here's where it's hailing at. Here's how big it is. This is why we think it's that way. We'll have the radar images live as we talk through them.
It's Gerald.
So it's going to be some pretty cool stuff. Are people asking questions in there?
No, somebody just said this is super exciting.
It is exciting. I'm pretty excited here. So let's work on it. There's probably a little bit of a lag on the live feed. So if we answer your question a little bit late, it's because we're actually recording this and there's like a 10 or 15 second lag. So sometimes longer depending on our Wi-Fi connection.
Do you have Google? Do you have GeoEarth open on your computer?
I think I found the file here. If I can find it now on here. It took me to it.
Weather files right here.
Is that where it's taking me?
Yeah, it's in weather files, not hail forecast. And now it's going to be in.
See if there's that now.
No. It's going to be.
Does it have a date on it?
No, it's literally just called Hail Forecast.
This one?
No, this is that one.
All right, here we go. I think we
Pretty
found
sure
it.
it's the one.
I think we found it here. Let's see if it'll load here. Maybe. Gotta love the live stuff, right? It makes it more exciting that way.
I'm in West Central Indiana near Terre Haute. This is looking good for me, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it looks like so we're going to pop up our graphic here in just a second, but right now if we had to select a target zone, it would be from Indianapolis all the way back over to like St. Louis, and then you probably can draw a line from St. Louis down towards Little Rock. Little Rock seems to be getting more and more interesting as the afternoon goes along. I think John's actually sitting here next to me. You can't see him, but he's our lead meteorologist here at Helltrace, so he's the one answering your questions right now, and so he's sitting here next to me, and I think he would agree with me on all of that.
Where the hell is this freaking? Yeah, I'm just gonna bring up GR Earth, and I'm just gonna take a screenshot of the forecast. I'm just gonna email it to you.
GR Earth.
Open GR Earth so you can actually have something on the screen other than just this
I
right
don't.
now.
I can't get GR Earth to load on my computer.
Okay.
It loads on the wrong monitor. I can go back to stuff. All right, so we're getting a screenshot here. For whatever reason, our two computers haven't synced up the forecast yet. Let's see if we have actually some new data that's come out here. Let's take a look at the. Let's take a look here. Okay, so this is the WRF model. And let's check this out. Okay, so here we are on the WRF model. So this is for later this afternoon on this model run. Check this out. So again, you got individual supercells firing. Again, don't pay attention to the exact location, but really kind of the overall theme of this is, first of all, there's going to be storms all night long. Feel sorry for some of my meteorologists. You guys should give them props because they're going to be working all night long for you guys. But anyway, so we're probably all going to be working all night long. So here's a look at again. So we talked about Terre Haute just a minute ago. Check this out. So this model's got them getting popped right here. Indianapolis is right in here. You've got Evansville, Owensboro. They're all in line. Louisville possibly later this evening. Here we go. And then look, this model actually goes out a little bit later. So check this out. Again, more storms. These could get a little linear. We'll see here if they can stay out ahead of the line. Right there, they look okay, but right there, they look kind of crummy. So we'll see what happens there. But again, all night long. I mean, here's Little Rock getting popped again, St. Louis. So we're just kind of backing through. So let's go frame by frame here. So this is 6 o'clock this afternoon, Central Daylight Time. So again, storms up in the Chicago metro area down to St. Louis, down towards Little Rock, Arkansas. Again, don't pay attention to the exact location. There's probably going to be a few more storms than what this particular model is showing at this time as well. But you can see those kind of expand out. They get bigger, they get stronger. This is about 3 o'clock in the morning. So big storms going on in Arkansas and Kentucky, in Illinois and Indiana and Missouri and in Ohio. Big time stuff going on. 12Z. So this is 7 a.m. It's still going on, guys. We're still talking about hell. So, those of you that watched our 2017 forecast, but there's somebody said you should have known that it was going to hell in February, which we did say. The end of February, the first part of March was going to be pretty crazy, and it has been so far, and it looks like it's going to continue for the next couple of days. And
it too.
Awesome. So it looks like I just got an email with it. So let me. Let's load up our forecast here and let's take a look at that. See how many emails I've got. How about that? I'm in the wrong email address. All right. right, so we're going to load up here the forecast. We've got the graphics here now. All right, here we go. Downloading, downloading, downloading. All right, so here's what we've got, okay? So, again, you can see we definitely upped the risk areas here. And again, so the Storm Prediction Center has a moderate risk for tornadoes and hail today. You know, we're going to take a couple of cities. We're going to go high on a couple of cities. These are definitely some of the higher numbers that we ever forecast. You know, we're pretty typical. A good day is a 20 to 30, 40% type day. But here's what we've got. So we've got Chicago, and especially the south side of Chicago. Okay, so 35% chance of hail. Let's go ahead and fire these storms up in the next, I would say, 2 hours, 3 hours, somewhere like that. Cleveland, sorry, wait, maybe we put that up there to be funny. 2% chance in Cleveland, so don't hold your breath in Cleveland, but 30% chance in Cincinnati. So we think will be some hail in Ohio as long as things don't merge and get a little messy by the time they get there. Louisville, 40% chance. Indianapolis, 50% chance. Okay, Indianapolis is going to be there's going to be multiple waves of hail and severe thunderstorms through Minneapolis today. Okay, so now will one of them hit exactly on Indianapolis? Well, that's tough to tell, but they're going to be in and around the area, and there's going to be a lot of them. So we're going with a 50% chance. Nashville, your chances actually come later. Okay, so your best chance is going to be like towards sunrise or somewhere right in that time frame. So definitely going to be a little bit later in and around Nashville. Louisville, we're going to go about a 40% chance. So we're kind of going a high risk basically from about Louisville or just to the north of Louisville all the way over to Indianapolis, back towards St. Louis, and then down towards the Little Rock area. So we're going high risk for hail. And again, this is our forecast to you in the restoration industry. This is not a safety forecast. We're not trying to make people, we're not trying to keep people safe. We're just trying to alert you to what the chance of damaging hail is in different areas, okay? So again, St. Louis is kind of our hot spot. We're going 55% chance. We don't do it very often with a 55% chance. So, but yeah, that's a big time. And again, St. Louis, multiple waves again, basically are going to develop across central Missouri and then move east into the Indiana area. And that's why we have such a high risk in that part of the country. Kansas City, you're probably a little bit too far west, so I think they're going to form off to your east. But we'll be watching it. If one can get going quick enough, it could produce some hail in Kansas City today. And then down in Little Rock, again, multiple waves. They're going to develop some over you, some to the west of you. Then they're going to move off to the east. There's a chance, it looks like right now, they may just go just north of Memphis. But we still got a 20% chance in the Memphis area. And then again, most of the weather north of Shreveport, so about a 10% chance there. For those of you in the eastern parts of Oklahoma, I'm sure we maybe have a few folks watching in Oklahoma. We got, let's see here, so Fort Smith, probably just east of Tulsa. So I wouldn't expect anything in Tulsa, but just east of Tulsa wouldn't be surprised to get some activity over there. And yeah, so we'll have some stuff going on in eastern Oklahoma as well, down into southeast Oklahoma. Might even be able to extend some of these probabilities back just a tad, back into here, just to the north and east of Dallas, just a little bit. I don't think it's going to go real far back. It's pretty close. And again, this is not a pick a spot on the map and yeah, this is what's exactly going to happen. This is obviously, we're making these circles here and just trying to cover the major cities to make sure we get them in there. So feel free again to ask questions. We want questions. We've got John, my lead meteorologist. He's sitting right here next to me. In fact, here you go. John, say hi.
Hi.
He's
I've
over
been
here.
answering your questions.
He's the one answering your questions right now in the chat. We're actually in a hotel room at the Excalibur for the International Roofing Expo. And of course, go have it that we're going to have a big hail event because we're not at the office. We do have 2 meteorologists at the office, though. They're going to be mapping your storms today. And then John is going to actually take over when it gets a little crazy for them. And we'll be doing live stuff all day long. So we'll be here to push out live stuff to let you know exactly what's happening. We're doing all this stuff for free, right? I mean, I think that's pretty cool in and of itself. So if you like the free stuff, at least say I like the free stuff in the chat room. Let us know that you're here. and keep up the free stuff, because if people are watching it, if people are commenting, if people are talking about it, we'll keep doing the free stuff. Okay, that's all we care about, is that you guys like it. If we don't see anything from you, then we're not going to keep doing it. So make sure to give us some props if it's something that you like. Okay, so let's take a look here. Let's see here. Let's look at a couple other models. How about that? Let's see. Let's go back to the HRRR. I want to show you some of the more detail. Let's look at some of the more detail. We looked at some radar stuff, right? And that's what most people would look at. Actually, we've got a new model run coming out right now. Let's look at that first. How about that? Exciting stuff. All right. Okay, here we go. So this model, you can see right here, it's through 12 of 18 hours. So we're going to let's loop this thing through. Again, storms firing, just like the one before here. Okay, so the first storms fire here in about 2 to 3 hours up by Chicago, like we just talked about, and then they continue to expand off to the east. We've got storms around 4 o'clock around the St. Louis area, and then I think a lot of these little specks here. This is around 6 o'clock. I think a lot of these little specks might actually be a little bit stronger storms. And we might even have to watch some little stuff like this. See this little guy over here in northern Alabama? This is pretty close to Huntsville. This is something to watch here, okay? So wind conditions are favorable in this part of the country. So it's a big storm system, but most of our lift is actually back here in Arkansas, Missouri, and Illinois, and then moving into Indiana and Kentucky. But if we can get, so there's basically a boundary from overnight showers and thunderstorms across parts of Alabama, and if it can fire little storms like this, little isolated storms, we'll get some hail out of those. So if you're in Alabama, you're not in the clear right now either. So you could definitely get some hail there as well. And then watch again, just boom, boom, boom. They just keep expanding. More supercell thunderstorms. Kind of crazy. Let's look at a little different. This one shows a little bit more robust. There you go. Again, exactly what we think. Isolated supercells. I mean, that's St. Louis getting nailed right there. So and that's Chicago, south side of Chicago, central Chicago. Yeah, you're getting hell there. Again, these are what models are saying. Okay, so I'm not saying heck yeah, hell yeah, right? Chicago is going to get hell for sure. We do have a little bit lower probabilities, and mainly because see how many storms there are up here, so it has a potential to get real messy up in Chicago. So hopefully we can keep some stuff isolated to produce that hail, but could get a little messy. See how it's much more isolated down around St. Louis, and then it could get messy even around Indianapolis. We'll have to see. But there's Louisville's in that area there, and again lines of supercell thunderstorms. Really, I think that's the biggest thing to take away. We're gonna have quite a bit of activity. So this is the new model. So we're out to 13 hours. This is about 1 o'clock in the morning that you're looking at right now. So you've got potential for severe thunderstorms in southeast Oklahoma, across Arkansas, across Missouri, Illinois, Kentucky, just basically along the Ohio River in Kentucky, and then back up into Ohio. This would be definitely dwindling hail chances if it kind of merges together like that. And again, that's kind of where we think basically somewhere on the eastern half of Indiana, the hail chances drop off pretty quick. And that's kind of in line with what our forecast is. Let's look at some severe weather parameters. So this is the surface-based CAPE. This is the amount of instability in the atmosphere. Okay, so this is 1 o'clock. Let's go ahead and let's move this thing forward. Look at all the instability that takes off. We have not had instability like this all year long. Okay, so you can see even all the way up here in Illinois. And again, don't take specific locations and put them into play there. But this just kind of gives us an idea of what's going on. So, these are some numbers that are making a run at 3,000 joules per kilogram. That's some pretty impressive numbers for the month of February. Okay, let's give you an example. These numbers a couple days ago, when Richmond, Virginia, and Washington D.C. and Baltimore and Scranton had all that hail. These numbers were around 1,200, 1,000.
15
Yeah,
was like the highest.
1,500 was the highest. So, and we're running at 3,000. So we're doing double that right now. When we get into May, we'll do double this too. So, but really today is all about the wind shear with this instability. That's what's making everything so good. And to the thing that we like to look at to kind of combine both of those is this is called the supercell composite. So this kind of tells us, this takes the wind shear, this takes the instability and a bunch of different factors and says, all right, what are the chances of some pretty nasty storms? So clearly we can see the dry line here now that capped basically in Oklahoma. If storms can break through the cap, Tulsa could have some severe weather today, but we'll see if they can actually break through the cap. But you can see conditions are favorable in Tulsa. We just got to get through that cap. And it's going to be pretty tough back here in Oklahoma. Cap is basically a layer of warm air aloft. Doesn't allow thunderstorms to develop. But you can see these thunderstorms, even up here in Illinois, are almost creating their own environment for some nasty weather. And look how it just keeps getting, it doesn't even get any better. It just gets worse overnight. So even as we lose our daytime heating, things get pretty interesting. Now, these areas where it clears out, that's where thunderstorms are moving through, stabilizing the environment. And this is really late. This is like almost sunrise tomorrow morning. So again, we peak out here. You can see St. Louis over towards Indianapolis there. So there's going to be lots of stuff favorable. Again, everything in this type of environment all goes back to the storm mode, and so the storm mode is going to be really, really big. So again, areas that could have a messy storm mode would be Chicago and Indianapolis, down towards Louisville. If that storm mode is real messy, that hail chance can drop pretty quick. So right now we're going with a pretty high risk in Indianapolis, but if that storm mode gets messy, that risk is going to go down pretty quick. So overall though, again, from Chicago over towards, let's say, Dayton and Cincinnati, down to Louisville, down to Memphis, down to Shreveport, to just east of Tulsa, and then up through areas like St. Louis, most of central Illinois, back up to Chicago again. Big time risk for hail today. Chances are up to baseball size. And there's going to be multiple waves of severe weather, and we're going to be watching those live. So if you're already subscribed to us, meaning you get our text alerts, you've actually paid me money before, then you will be alerted when we go live. We'll send you a text message, okay, when we go live. If you're not subscribed to us, we will send out the text alerts to you when we go live. We just won't send out the exact locations of the hail when we send those out. Those are for our paying subscribers, and we thank you guys for being with us. But for those of you that would just like to be alerted that we're live talking about severe weather, you can either put your information in the chat room. Just let us know that you want live information. We'll go grab your info from your account that you created with us, and we'll set that up. Or just send us an email, info@hailtrace.com. Okay, I'll put that information in the chat room too for you guys. So that way we can get you guys set up. Other than that, we're gonna turn the live feed off. We're gonna set it up to where it'll do a replay so people can watch that again. But if you have questions, feel free to chat with us we'll leave the chat open. We'll have a meteorologist in there, and then when severe weather begins to break out, we'll go live again. We'll send out alerts, let you guys know that we're going live, and let's fire this thing up. I'm ready for some hail.